I'm making smothered pork chops, and what you'll need are 4 pork rib or loin chops and a little bit of ground nutmeg, some pepper, some salt, and a cup of chicken broth, and 2 tablespoons of butter, which I've got melting in my skillet. And you need buttermilk. I didn't have any buttermilk, so I took a cup of just regular milk and put a teaspoon of vinegar in it, and then I've let it set for 5 minutes, and then I'll have my buttermilk. And you need 3/4 a cup of flour. And you put your flour in a big bowl, and then you add your seasonings. You're going to take a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. You'll stir those up a little bit. Stir that all in. And I'm going to lightly coat my pork chops on both sides, and then I'll put them in my melted butter. Shake off any excess flour, and you're going to turn your butter once it's melted to a medium-high heat, and you're going to add the pork chops and cook them until golden brown, about 3 to 5 minutes per side. And then you'll transfer the chops to a plate and put them someplace to keep them warm until you're ready to use them for after you make the gravy types. You'll need your chops back. Alright, we've got our pork chops browning on both sides. And another thing you'll need is a 1/2 cup of chopped onions. Flip them. Let them continue browning. Alright, it's been about 6 minutes each on my chops. I've let them get good and brown on each side. And now I'm going to pop them over here on a plate and go on to the next step of the process. And we're going to take your 1/2 cup of onion and put it in your skillet and let it cook around till it gets good and tender. Be about 5 minutes. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes and our onions are cooked nice and tender. I put my pork chops in my microwave to keep them warm while I did this. And to this onion you're going to sprinkle 2 tablespoons of the seasoning flour from where you floured your pork chops over that. And you're going to stir that around, cook it for about a minute. Smells good. Okay. Now you're going to slowly add your cup of broth. You're going to, if there's anything brown that's stuck to the bottom of your pan, you know, use your spoon to get that up in there. That'll just add flavor to your gravy that you're making here. Okay. Okay, you're going to let this simmer for 1 minute. Keep an eye on it, keep it stirred. We've let this simmer for a minute and it's thickening up. And now I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of my buttermilk. Stir in the buttermilk, and then I'm going to return my pork chops to this, and we'll turn it down on low and we'll let them simmer for about 6 minutes longer. We're going to let these simmer for 6 minutes or until they're cooked through. So we're going to let it, we'll turn them one time, only once. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, it's been 6 minutes and I'm getting ready to turn them. Oh my, this smells so good. This is going to be delicious. And now we'll simmer the other side for 6 minutes and they'll be ready to serve. And it's done. A smothered pork chop, and it smells great. And I bet it tastes even better. For this recipe and others, go to www.carolseasycooking.com.